All the way from Phoenix, Arizona, Portland, Oregon, and Dallas, Texas. It's the Bros Before Elbows Pro Wrestling Podcast.
I know. And it is recording. We're live on Skype, iTunes, YouTube, Napster, AOL Instant Messenger, MySpace, Friendster, and the World Wide Internet. Theron, what is up, man? It is a two-man booth out here. It is Wednesday, March 25th, 2020, and we are in the middle of the apocalypse. We made it one more week on the Bros Before Elbow show. Our producer, Anthony, is out in the field reporting live from a Portland farmer's market or somewhere, some corner in Portland, but he's not here tonight. It's me in Phoenix, Tommy in Phoenix, Theron in Dallas. What is up, man?
What is up, my brother? What is going on? We are in the middle of some sort of apocalypto or apocalypse. Two totally different things. Just hanging in there, man. Just hanging out. Just doing all sorts of, activities.
You're learning new hobbies. You're taking long strolls on the Texas streets. What is it like, man? Is it like the pictures, man? Does it look like I Am Legend out there? What's going on?
To be completely honest, I will pose the same question to you, but I mean, I don't know what you guys are hearing in other states, but I guess we sound like we're doing pretty bad. I'm fine. My roommate is fine. Everyone that I know seems to be fine. It is kind of like a ghost town. Like when you go places, there's a lot of, it's quiet. Where I work is obviously restricted, closed down, whatever, to goes. So the Ford Center where the Cowboys practice is pretty quiet. The people who are kind of, I don't know if they're oblivious or they just don't care, but a lot of kids are on like extended break or school might be closed for the rest of the year. So I see a lot of kids out playing football. There's like a 50-yard field in front of the Cowboys practice facility. It's like a nice layout. So I see kids out there. That's the most gatherings I've seen. It's cool to see people walking. I see a lot of people walking their dogs or their families, whatever. It's really nice outside, but it's kind of surreal because it's like the sun is out. It's really beautiful, but then there's this like worldwide pandemic going on. And it's like people are It
is like the nicest part of the year for like if you're in Texas or Arizona, man, or like in California or like a Florida or like a sunny state, man. It is like the nicest time of the year, man. Like March, April, May. That's like prime, like going outside, like hanging on the patio, getting together, man. Like that is like prime season because the weather's just like perfect, like from sun up to sundown. It's
so sad because not because people can't go outside, but they're probably choosing not to for obvious reasons. But the people you do see seem to be in good spirits. But yeah, it's so warm out. I think California's on like a total lockdown, are they not? I think so. Yeah, my Crystal, my wife's family's out there. Yeah, I mean, like her mom's on quarantine because she's over 60, so their work shut down, had to put her on quarantine for 2 weeks. Her sister-in-law works for the state, so like in child services, so they shut down. So she's home until June because there's no like school or preschool for them. So she's home to June. My brother-in-law, he worked at a kind of like you. He's over at a restaurant. He's at a winery like out in California, and they just laid off their whole staff basically. Yeah,
They weren't coming back. So he had to file for unemployment and do that whole dance, man. So
crazy.
Yeah, I feel like the restaurant industry and like the airlines and like the hotel industries are the three most like industries that hit the hardest. So I mean, like it's rough out there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm in the industry, the restaurant industry. We're lucky that we're still open as of right now for to-goes. So they've let 1 to 2 of us work at a time. It's a big cut in your pay because you're only getting to-goes, and obviously not a lot of people are coming, but still regulars are coming, and there's people that know we're open to come pick up food. So that's cool. That human interaction is kind of cool. You take those things for granted, because 2 weeks ago, literally I think it was 2 weeks ago, we're just all at work doing whatever. I'm not sure what you were doing. I'm watching the NBA. I'm flipping through, putting on the programs on the TVs at work, and then one game gets canceled, and then the rest of the games get canceled, and then it's just like, wow, just so crazy to me. Still, I believe it's serious. I know it's real, but it's just so different, you know. And then I wonder, like, what will people do once everything does go back to normal? Like, will they still be distant? Will people be afraid? You know,
that's what people were saying, man. Like, they were gonna say, like, if people are gonna rush back to big events or anything, or people are gonna like take it slow, man. Like, are people still gonna be like kind of cautious? Like, do you really want to go to like a movie theater with like 200 other people you don't know, like really right at the first weekend back? Do you want to like go to a basketball or baseball game of 20,000 people there? I mean, like, I don't know. I think we're all kind of like playing it by ear, man. It is like day by day, like hour by hour kind of thing with the news changing. It's kind of, I don't know. Yeah. It's just like, like you said, 2 weeks ago was different. Last week it was different. Who knows what's going to happen the next time we record a podcast. Have you been,
I know, right? Have you been following the news on it? I've been following it. I have like CNN. I've always had CNN on my phone. I've never followed news this closely. Like, you know, I never really paid attention. I mean, I get the alerts from CNN. So before all this, it was a lot of different things going on in the world, whatever, you know, stuff about the election. I get those. My dad was always like, you should pay attention to the news, pay attention to the election, blah, blah, blah. And I think we talked about it. I was like, I just don't really pay attention, you know. I know who's running, and I just decide later. I don't care. And now I'm like, what's happening? What's going on? Are they giving us a stimulus? Which I guess they passed this gigantic bill and whatever. People can get money, so that's cool, and businesses are going to get saved. But yeah, no, this is the weirdest time I've ever lived in. You know, I think any of us.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Like I said, I was talking to Anthony last week before you made your epic run-in on the podcast, out of breath. Running around, hey guy, kicking down the door and slamming your soapbox right in the center of the stage and just proclamating the world is ending. But man, I think I said, like, Anthony, I like, it's hard to balance. Like, am I reading too much? I'm asking myself, like, am I reading too much news? Am I scrolling my Twitter feed too much? Am I clicking on too much stuff like about the coronavirus? Like, should I take a step back? I'm like, I feel in my brain too much information. Should I just like ease it back? Like, I don't know, like, what's the level. I'm like, I'm trying to. That's my struggle. It's like, I'm finding that balance. Like, am I reading too much information? Am I like filling my head with too many facts? It's like overthinking it, or should I dial it back some and just like take a break and, man, just like let it come to me and not get into it? Because I am reading way more news than I usually do. Going to sites I usually don't go to as much for news and stuff like that. So it's a tough balance. I don't know, like because everything changes by the day. President Trump is doing like a press conference every day. He's on Twitter, like starting beefs with people every single day. Yeah, it's just so weird to me. I just don't know how to take it all in.
What do you? I don't know what you see as far as, like, you know, blog news, or I don't know what you call that, like internet, like inquirers, so like media takeouts and stuff, or World Star. So you go on there, and there's like a video of a guy that was in like Charlotte. I don't know if you saw this video on Facebook or anywhere. It was like a guy. He's in a Walmart shopping, and he's talking about having the virus, and he's asymptomatic, and he's like, if I got to eat too, so like.
Man, you totally Skyped out.
Screw y'all. Like,
I heard. I think Audacity might record you, but I couldn't hear you on Skype. Can you start over? All right.
Oh no! I was talking about this guy, and he's in Charlotte of all places. He has the virus. It was a video that was circulating throughout different social media. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Didn't hear anything after that.
But he just said he looks like he's in his mid to late 20s. Or maybe early 30s, probably our age. He has the virus. He's asymptomatic, but he doesn't care. He's like, if I got it, y'all gonna get it, or whatever. Like, I got to eat too, and like people like that, or
oh my god, that's insane, dude. He's just trying to like infect people, or he's not quarantining himself. Is that what the video?
He's not. He basically said that he's walking around. He has the virus. He's buying stuff. He's not quarantining himself. He's been to other places. He was going to a Sam's Club in Concord, which is it's funny. It's just ironic because I literally just lived there last year
man.
in the same place he was. You know, probably was at the Walmart he was at. Like I used to sell DirecTV there, so it's like that's wild to me. Or just different every day. It seems like a new celebrity or senator or member of Congress or Prince, I think it was Prince Charles maybe might have it now, you know? And I'm just like, this is I don't know what to make of this. I don't know if the universe, God, whatever you believe in, who's mad at us, or if this was just bound to happen. You know, I don't know. Like, what do you think about like that? Like, as far as like, you think this was bound to happen because this has been a controlled thing? Was it just something that was going to happen no matter what? Like,
I don't know, man. I mean, you can't like. This is the thing. People are saying like it's a war on the coronavirus, just like us versus the virus. Yeah, the virus doesn't care, man. It does not.
No,
it does not think or breathe or do anything, man. It's not like it's not an enemy, dude. It's like something we have to like. It's a new challenge we have to adapt to. We're not adapting fast enough because I think it just blindsided everyone. I mean, maybe it didn't blindside scientists. I mean, I don't know if the science or medical community. I think they were ahead of the game on that, but I don't think like people who run the countries were like listening to them as much as they should be, or we didn't take precautions, didn't get enough the tests ready, didn't get enough ventilators and masks and all that stuff. We just didn't prep enough. I mean, it kind of caught us, kind of blindsided us and caught off guard. So. I think maybe that's like our lesson, our learning experience is like now we have to be quarantined for the next 2 or 3 months or however long it is or whatever, man. That's kind of like our lesson. Like, hey, yeah, we were warned about this. We weren't prepared for it. So when the next thing that's similar to the coronavirus comes up in a couple of years from now, we'll be better prepared for it because this is kind of like our warning shot, and we're taking one on the chin right now as humans, man.
Badly.
Yeah, badly, man. He's got like cracked right in the chin. Now we're gonna like get back up and see how we counter it. And I don't think we're kind of like learning on the fly too. And it goes by country because like Italy's handling differently than us. South Korea, China, Canada, and it seems like from what I'm reading is like the United States is kind of like last on everything. We're kind of like slow to react to like everything.
Right.
Like, you mentioned the stimulus package. I heard like people get like $1,200 and $2,000 for the stimulus package. That's only like a one-time payment.
Yeah.
Like where other countries are getting like, I heard Canada's getting $2,000 a month for every citizen, and they're like pausing everyone's like rent and mortgage.
Yeah.
For, like, 3 months. So
which
like,
is big. That's big.
Huge compared to what we're getting. Because I don't know, like, yeah, man, it's like politicians fighting over stuff, and we kind of get like the breadcrumbs that are left over, man. So I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like and that, you know, that was my biggest fear, was just figuring out how to manage, because when you're used to just managing your finances or whatever one way, and you know, like, all right, this much money's coming in and this, and then boom, your finances are slashed by like anywhere from 50% to 70% to even 100%, because some people got laid off. Like, sorry, we can't pay you anymore. You can come back when this finishes, but we don't know when this is going to finish. And it's like the U.S. is just kind of waiting on, I don't know what. Like, I know I'm not trying to blame anyone. I like the hope, but it's like we don't have a handle on the virus because we don't have a cure. We have no cure in place, you know, and we just have to let it run its course and try to combat it. Trump is saying by Easter Sunday he wants us to be back to normal. That's cool. You know, seeing the NFL carry on their daily business dealings, that's awesome. That's inspiring. But knowing that like NBA is postponed, MLB is postponed, NHL, which was getting ready for the playoffs, postponed, and like NCAA, well, that's just an asterisk in the years of history. Like, that was the year that the coronavirus happened, so there was no tournament, no national champion on either side. It's like, I'm not panicked. I'm just like, wow, this is so wild. I'm still trying to make sense of it. And then every day, like reading about the people it's affecting, or seeing a video of a hospital full of beds with not enough beds and people on ventilators. I'm like, that is insane.
Oh man, Skype's on our phone tonight, but I will ask when you're done for this rant.
Yes.
Sorry, you're Skyping out. Audacity picks up whatever you record on your end, just fine. But Skype is the one that the tricky bugger. I was gonna say, how do you react to fans who claimed you were panicking? and how do you classify your epic rant from last week? people are still talking about on the internet.
If you know me, if you know anything about me, I'm probably the least worried person ever, which is probably a curse. It could be the final hour. It could be the final hour to close the deal. Let's say I'm the Cowboys brass and I got Dak Prescott and he's walking if I don't sign him. I'm using this as an example because that's kind of what's happening. I would wait until the final minute to close my deal with him. You know what I mean? And I'd be so laid back about it. Like I'm just very even keel. So the way that it came across when I heard it, I was like, I do sound completely panicked. And there was probably some panic in there because of the fact that of the industry I work in and my wages being heavily slashed and not knowing how I would pay my bills for the next month or 3 or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was just literally the fact that I couldn't get on the show because my internet was being weird. And I was so hyped to do something because you got to remember, like, we have no normal, we don't have the normal amount of social interaction that we as a people, humanity, are used to. You know, 2 weeks ago, we're all getting up, going out, you go to work, wherever you work. You know, you see, or whatever, or you're hanging out with your kids if you got kids, or you're doing whatever, you're going this place, that place, going out to eat, and all of a sudden, all of that is thrown in the air. Like, no, you can't do that because we have to curb this deadly, life-threatening pandemic. So, like, maybe there was a little bit of panic, but I work with a bunch of people that do the same thing I do, and they're all worried. So it's like natural, but no, I think it's funny that people thought I was stressed. I wasn't, but it's like, I think most of it is concern and fear because the virus is what it is, but it's like, what if this thing would have blown up? And what if after this stimulus happens, what if people do start getting put out of their homes or rental properties or whatever, and then they turn violent? Because what else are they going to do? They got to eat.
No, man, that's true, man. The people were saying like that, like not only is the virus getting us, but like the economic impact of people not going to work for 3 months or people getting quarantined for 3 months. People are gonna go crazy in their house, man. Like, people are just gonna start like snapping on each other kind of thing. And like, yeah, man, there's like so many side effects. There's the social, mental, economical, and physical, man. It's like it hits us so many different ways that people don't even think about. Yeah, the virus comes out, but yeah, like when people are all at the unemployment line, or people are all struggling to pay their rent and getting bad credit, all that stuff. Like that stuff affects people for years, man. So so I'm just really curious how the government's going to step in and like, hey, man, help everyone out. Because you're not covering the physical side of getting everyone, like you said, hospital beds and ventilators and masks for nurses and doctors. So like, if you're not doing that, how are you helping us financially? How are you helping us mentally? How do you help the United States people? We're 330 million people out here in 50 different states, all different needs. How are you gonna? What's the solution here? Because I don't know. We don't know. We're a pro wrestling podcast, just trying to figure out things as we go. So I don't know if we've got the answers yet either. I'm just here to ask questions.
That's what I'm saying, and it's very fascinating to see the reaction of different people. You know, just different people I know around here. Like I can remember hearing my dad before I moved, just kind of saying on his conference calls, you know, this thing will blow over. And I was like, yeah, it'll blow over. And that was around the same time I was telling you that. But then I'll see that in like China, I think they're on the way to some normal. I don't know if they're fully normal, but they just haven't had any new cases in like 3 days. Right. So they're starting to get people back in the streets. They've reopened the Apple stores, stuff like that. So it's just like so back and forth. And I'm like, well, what are we doing as a country?
That's what I'm concerned about, man. Yeah.
It's wild.
But have you been to last week you were at daily Walmart check-ins and buying $8 Fiji waters and extravagant spending and stuff like that? And have you been to any stores like Target, Walmart, grocery stores lately? Have you checked out anything? Week?
Because I mean the way we do it is I've been trying to cook more at home. A lot of people in society eat out, and that's cool if you can afford it, but part of saving your money, you probably should eat at home. So I've been going.
Yeah.
I haven't been going like I was the last week, and that was literally just to find some water. No one knew what was going to happen. You know, I'm like, at least I'll have water. I've gone out. I've seen water a little bit more, but it's still kind of the same. Like, I was in Walmart the other day, and I was going through the pizza for like a DiGiorno. There was like no pizzas in there. The frozen food, like all the TV dinners were gone. I was like, huge, and toilet paper is still like hit or miss. So yeah, I don't know. What about you? Like, I don't know. I haven't been to the Target or anything. Have you been to like Target? Has Crystal gone to Target or wherever?
We went to Fry's the other day, and like you said, yeah, the toilet paper, they barely had any toilet paper left. One thing, hand sanitizer, man. Hand sanitizer and like rubbing alcohol, we still have not been able to find for at least two weeks, man. Just like we were just digging through our drawers. We found like some old ones. Like we just had like for the kids, like little like sparkly ones and like ones of like like bright colors and stuff. Not ones for use, really just kids to like play with and stuff. That's what we're kind of like going on. And then like the canned food aisle is still pretty much a wreck. If you want like soup or a lot of canned vegetables or fruits are kind of like out. The cereal aisle too, man. Just wiped out.
That's what it was. Like, that's what I was looking for, cereal, and a lot of the cereal was gone, and I was like, wow. But I think that eventually, I don't know when, we'll get back to the lifestyle we were maybe not necessarily fully accustomed to. Gonna be a little different because we're just dealt with this, but it'll go back to normal. So I don't know if people are overbuying. Like, I saw a guy yesterday, actually at Kroger, and he had 3 cases of water. He had 2-gallon things of water, and I think he had like toilet paper. And I was like, dang, he had a mask on. He had the glove. Do you guys wear the masks and the gloves and stuff?
I have not, man. I've seen people really decked out in stuff, like when I've gone. Yeah, like people with gloves and like little gas masks, like walking around Fry's and stuff. But out here, it seems like they're limiting people to like two things of water and 2 things of toilet paper, like for 2 things of hand sanitizer. Find any?
Can't find that.
But they're limiting people, yeah. But like you said, like 2 weeks ago, nope, free for all. Even like last week, I think the grocery stores are still trying to catch up. Like, just now starting to limit stuff, like in Walmart and Fry's and stuff.
Are your Walmarts closing at like 8:30 or 8 or? I don't know.
They are doing new hours. I think they're doing like 10 or 11, but still like not 24 hours. Not like Sam's Club and stuff and Costco's out here. Those have been crazy. I think those like warehouse stores are even more crazy, and they're like pushing back their hours to like open like at 9 or something when they're usually going to like at 7. So yeah, it's crazy. They're kind of adapting as they go.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and it's on the fly. It's literally on the fly. So I guess my biggest question is, when will we know that it's okay? Like, will they just kind of be like, okay? Will they have a deadline? Will they just be like, all right, screw it, you know what? We're dealing with it as we are. You guys go back to your life. I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to keep us locked down, or do you think they should impose some sort of a mandatory lockdown for the whole country? I don't think so. I think that's a little far-fetched, but you saw what happened in Italy. You saw what happened in China, other places.
Yeah, I think they're trying to creep. I think they're trying to like leak it out like one thing at a time. Like they're trying to like, instead of doing it all at once, ripping off the Band-Aid, they're trying to like make it like, okay, so first we're gonna do like 50 people in a room. Okay, then we're gonna do 10 people in a room. Okay, everyone's got to be quarantined for a couple weeks. We're closing all the businesses, all the restaurants and bars, limiting the takeout. They're trying to do things step by step, but yeah, I could see where we're going to get to a place where like, okay, everything but gas stations, pharmacies, and grocery stores are closed for the next 30 days or something like that. I could see that getting to that point, but then you hear Trump saying there's like Easter Sunday, which is like 3 weeks from now, and he wants everything back to normal, which I think the politicians are saying one thing and like the doctors saying one thing. They're saying if we go back in like 3 weeks, like 3 weeks is supposed to be our peak of like when quarantine, where the coronavirus is going to hit the most. So that's going to be like our peak, like in the mountain that's going to curve down afterwards. So if we release people before that, it's just going to shoot that curve way too high, and hospitals are going to be overwhelmed. All the pharmacies are going to be overwhelmed, and it's going to make everything crash at once. So I don't think. I don't know if that's a good idea. Yeah, if you let everyone back into the wild right now, everyone's going to get the coronavirus. Everyone's going to be like clogging up the ERs and hospitals, and then what happens when the nurses and doctors get sick? Who take care of them? Who take care like
exactly?
Has anyone thought of that scenario? Like you said, like if they get sick, if doctors and nurses and medical people get sick, who's going to take care of the rest of us?
Exactly.
We've got to be careful, and we can't just bum rush the hospitals and ERs, and that's why we have to self quarantine. So not so only like a handful of people get sick at a time.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's one way that's actually the best idea I've heard in the last So hopefully the politicians just listen to this, because I think their fear is the economy tanking, but the economy's already screwed no matter what. Like I think. And it really is, yeah. It'll bounce back. It'll take a while. It'll suck. However that works. Mm-hmm. We'll come back. But yeah, if doctors start getting sick and nurses, because they're dealing with these people every day, then we're really facing a bigger problem. And it's like, they should just like they're telling us to take it seriously, they should take it seriously. Now, with that, you probably have to do, you do your financial assistance, whatever. Maybe they stop renting mortgages for, I don't know, however long. I don't know. That's my biggest question is, what's the timeline? There's no answer to the timeline. We don't have a timeline. We just have a wishful day that Trump wants everything to just be, okay, you guys are good to go. but do you have all the facts yet?
I think that's the scary part, man. Yeah, we don't know. Like that's a really big question, man. Like you're asking the key question. We don't have an answer, and I don't think our government has an answer right now. Like there should be like a timeline, and it should be written in like stone and like posted everywhere so everyone can see, man. Like and make a big announcement, put it everywhere, and saying, hey, this is our battle plan, and this is how we're gonna follow it. But it seems like we're waking up every day and playing it by ear, which doesn't seem like the thing to do right now. No,
it doesn't at all. It's insane times for sure. Yeah, like it, I don't know. It's the only thing to talk about. Like ESPN, that's all you see, or you see like replays of classic games. They try to have.
They played WrestleMania 30 on ESPN on Sunday.
That was the D-Bry year, right? That was the year of D-Bry.
Yeah, D-Bry and Undertaker losing his streak. Yeah,
that's so crazy. That was like 5 years ago, I think. That was 2015, which is insane.
Yeah,
I saw that. I think tonight they were doing the Pacquiao Mayweather fight on one of the sports channels. I was watching it before we started. Yeah, man.
Yeah, the other one was playing Fox Sports. One was playing classic college football.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes versus Baker Mayfield, and Marcus Mariota versus someone else.
Was it Kirk Cousins? No.
I was going to say, it's Kirk Cousins or Connor Cook, one of those Michigan State quarterbacks. But yeah, I'm not sure which one. But yeah, so there's like, NBA TV is playing Game 7 of Pistons versus Spurs.
That was like 2005 or so.
Something like that, man. Yeah. It was just Pistons going for back to back. Yeah, man. This, sports channels have nothing to talk about. Like radio stations, like what are they?
There's nothing to discuss. Like a Sports Center, for as long as they've been around, they've always had like when they play at the end of the night, they eventually end up repeating the episode. So once you get past the new episode, so there's usually like the East Coast one, and then there's the Scott Van Pelt one. And then they just replay that. Well, they started now, like when this first happened, they were doing that at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon because they didn't have anything else to talk about, All we've had to really look at is free agency and football. That's really been it. And then everything else is things that are getting postponed, canceled, moved. The Olympics has been postponed till next summer. That's crazy. So now it's going to be every 4 years from hopefully next summer. Tom Brady's a Buccaneer, I don't know. that's like all the excitement. In wrestling,
they're starting to delay movies too, man. Like Wonder Woman's supposed to come out in June, bumped to August. Like some other stuff that was supposed to come out. That's weird, man. The movie theaters, man. Like that's another business that, like, if you work at a movie theater, like
you're not doing anything.
I mean, you're done. Yeah, like when are those going to reopen?
I don't know. The new Fast and Furious with John Cena they pushed their release date from April of this year all the way to next spring, like a whole year. I said, geez. And then, yeah, Wonder Woman was supposed to come out. I was excited for that. Probably, I was getting hype. And I was watching, TNT was doing, they did Batman vs. Superman. And then they were doing Justice League for the first time on network TV that night. And I was like, oh, man, Wonder Woman's about to, it's not coming out in like a few months. No one knows, So
yeah.
It's crazy how all the movie timelines are being thwarted. I don't think the TV shows are like being put on hold from filming new episodes. Like, that's insane. And then wrestling, man, like, have you been watching wrestling? Like, I haven't been watching because I just refuse to accept that there's no one there to see this stuff. I watched AEW last week. I just watched the clip of Matt Hardy. That was all I watched. And I was just like, dude, like, this is one of the big reveals. This would have been an insane pop, but there's no one there. You know what I mean? It's just so crazy. And then I heard
that's weird because, yeah, like you said, like wrestling's the only thing on that's recording still, but like it's just like not putting its best foot forward right now because it's like all they're doing is like backstage clips, highlights, and then like a couple like 2 or 3 matches sprinkled in there, but there's like no crowd, so it just not look good.
Neither brand, like, you don't think, or neither company.
Neither brand, and like Raw, SmackDown,
like AEW or WWE.
NXT,
I know WWE is probably failing, but AEW.
Yeah, it just looks bad, man, and like no one's watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I saw that Dana Brooke and Rey Mysterio were pulled from like whatever they were going to be doing at this WrestleMania this year. They've both been quarantined for some reason. They're not saying why, So I'm just like, geez, like what's going to happen next? What do you think about WWE still going forward with WrestleMania on the 4th or whatever, the 3rd or the 4th now, like 2 days? There's rumors that Bray Wyatt versus John Cena is going to be like a movie, I guess. Did you hear about that?
Like a House of Horrors match, like part 2. Yeah, man, I don't know. I think they said they're starting to film it already. Like they started to film it like this week, like tonight, like last night, like. Insiders and WWE pro wrestling journalists are like getting like results already, and they're like trying not to report them, I guess. But yeah, man, I think it's gonna be weird. I'm curious how they're gonna do it. It could be really, really bad or really good. I kind of lean towards bad because there's gonna be no fans, there's no reactions, there is a surprise. It's kind of like can't really have a surprise because there's only so many people in the building. There's gonna be no battle royals. Like no, I don't know if they're doing any tag matches because there's too many people in the ring at one time. I don't know. It's just gonna be weird, man. It's just yeah. I think you said last week they should just postpone it because like every other, like you said, NBA, MLB, NHL, Coachella, Olympics, Kentucky Derby, NASCAR, like everything's. The Masters golf tournament, like everything's postponing. Yet WWE is still pushing through, and I don't think that's the right choice, man. The more we get into it, the deeper we get into this thing, the more it looks like a dumb choice that they're trying to push through and trying to do like a recorded WrestleMania and a WrestleMania in front of no crowd. That's like two strikes against it right there. Yeah,
it's so because. I guess Vince just feels like he can't be stopped or he can't take that hit. But yeah, I was going to ask if you think they should postpone it, but there you answered it. I would definitely put a halt on the show because you got to think about like some of the matches, like Drew McIntyre's moment is not going to be as special because no one's going to be there to react to it, I'm trying, Baszler and Becky Lynch probably won't be as good because there's no one there to react to it.
Edge's first match in like 10 years, no crowd.
Who's?
Edge.
Yeah, exactly. No crowd. Like I would just hold everything. You could run reruns of Raw or whatever for weeks. Which
easily, man. Or just you could just air like a whole pay-per-view on Monday Night Raw and air another one on SmackDown, man. Like
right. And AEW can. I don't know what AEW would do. I guess they could just put their like AEW Dark on TV. I'm not sure. They could do something.
They can run stuff from their pay-per-views. They can run stuff from Being Elite on YouTube. Put that on TV.
Yeah, just hold everything, and I commend them for trying to push forward, but I just don't. It doesn't have the same effect without a crowd and an audience, and a limited number of people allowed to be present at any given time. Definitely wild and wacky for me. What else?
Just weird.
Yes.
Weird, man. Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. You want to do? We got either end the show right now, or we could do one of these like brackets. Have you been watching anything on TV, man? While you've been quarantined, have you discovered any new shows or picked up a bunch of any new movies?
No. So I don't know if you ever watched Fun with Dick and Jane. Do you remember that movie? It's from like when we were 19.
Jim Carrey?
Yes, it is great. It's a funny movie. My roommate made me watch it. We watched it like 3 times. This was like not having cable, but we have everything. So I watched all of Broad City last week in like 3 days because I'd never watched that show, but I thought it was funny. That was funny. I've been watching Workaholics. I've been watching... What else am I bouncing around to? Those were the last 2 shows I really watched. I've been watching Vice. You know, Vice does those like Beyond the Ring things. Are you there?
Oh, did you watch the Chris Benoit one?
I'm in the middle of part 2. There's probably like 20 minutes left, so I was watching that.
Damn, man, I heard that was intense, man. What's your like review of part 1, man? I heard it was like they got really good like interviews and really good like behind the scenes facts, man. I got like really emotional for everyone reporting it.
Part 1 was really good. Part 2 is where they really get into what actually. So part 1 is obviously the backstory. You get to see like Chris Benoit's coming up. You get to see how Woman came up. She'd been around WCW for a long time, like way before her time with like the Four Horsemen and like Ric Flair and the feud with like Macho Man, which is way back in the 90s. So seeing all that, they have interviews with Vicky Guerrero. They have interviews with Nancy, which is Woman's like sister, Chavo Guerrero. So part 1 kind of looks at what may have driven Chris to go to the route he went to besides the CTE. The death of Eddie Guerrero is kind of looked at for a solid like 15 minutes because him and Eddie kind of came up together. First wrestling in New Japan, Eddie was like La Tigre, I guess. And then obviously they clicked from there and they like really hit it off, and they just obviously were inseparable from that point on. What'd you say?
I said, sorry, you was totally Skyping out, but I said, it was Benoit passed away first, right? Then Guerrero?
No, it was Guerrero first, and it was like it wasn't that far apart. I think Guerrero might have passed away in 2005 or 6. Chris was 2007. This was all when none of us were watching wrestling. I just remember that, and so they and did you, oddly enough, I don't know if you know this. Did you know Chavo Guerrero discovered both of the, he didn't discover Chris Benoit's body, but he was like very close in both instances. Like he had just talked to Chris Benoit right before he like murdered his family. He discovered Eddie Guerrero. Just crazy, man. Part, yeah, he was very close to both of them. Chris Jericho's actually on it, so that's cool. And then Chris Benoit's wife or son, the one that is alive, he was on there. So it's a really good one. I advise, if you have nothing to do, definitely check it out. It's 2 parts. It's like probably a total of like an hour and 20 minutes of watching. The second part though is super intense. That CTE stuff is real, man. That stuff is definitely real.
I know it talked really about him like doing his like diving headbutts and taking a lot of like pile drivers on the head and stuff like that. Take their jabs at WWE. The family members mess with him. Oh, jeez. Yeah. So yeah, it's good. Other than that, I've just been like listening to I listen to All the Smoke. I think it's Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Their podcast. I've been trying to see if they've been putting out new episodes and how they're doing it with everything going on. They had Paul Pierce last week. This week, it looks like it's old Shannon Sharp. Yeah, man. So just watching that stuff, watching Skip and Shannon on Undisputed, do everything via like video conference call is so weird, you know? Like, what about you guys? What have you guys been watching? Man, yeah, like I said, watch Space Jam tonight. I think we're just got to go through the classics, man. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, man, it's going through Disney Plus. Like, watch Space Jam. Me and Crystal's Westworld, man, on HBO. Do you ever watch Westworld?
I watched it once. I watched like an episode. It was good. Is it good? Is it worth it?
Oh man, the first season's really good. The second season, man, the second season's kind of rough, but the third season is back again. It's really good,
Nice.
man. First season's probably I think 6 or 7 episodes. First season is fantastic. I definitely recommend that. American Horror Story. I don't know if you've ever watched those. It's, the 1984. It's supposed to be like a take on Friday the 13th. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's another. It's really good, man. That's American Horror Story. You don't have to like watch in order because each season's like its own like story.
Right.
You can watch them totally out of order, but I'd recommend that. It's on FX. Yeah, man, just
Dave on FX.
Oh man, I saw that. I hear that it's like a hip hop comedy, right?
Yeah, so I don't know if you know any. I don't know if you listen to rap now because it's crap. But Lil Dicky is the name of the artist. He's on the show. It's basically like kind of similar to his Coming Up or whatever. There's parts that are similar, but it's basically a TV sitcom. There's a guy on the show who's like his best friend on the show, or his roommate. He actually went to school with us. He went to ASU and everything. I can't think of his name right now. I just remember like hanging out with him in different circles. So it's pretty cool to see that. That show's funny. It's worth a watch. Interesting humor. But I definitely will check out Westworld. Like I said, I watched an episode once at a friend's house. I was like, this show's really good. But it takes me a long time to like get into shows. So.
It does, man. Yeah, you have to like watch. You gotta watch like 2 or 3 back to back, and you're like, I think you'll be hooked.
Yeah. Yeah. You haven't done any of those brackets yet, have you? I haven't done any of them. I know that the New Day did the TV show one, and I think they picked Dragon Ball Z, and I was like, that's a great pick, but I've never seen any episodes of that show. Maybe like
we have the TV show bracket, we have the fast food bracket, and then we have the Marvel MCU movie bracket.
They have a Marvel MCU movie bracket? Really? Huh. Well, what?
Infinity War got a buy. So did Black Panther.
They got a buy? How?
So did Endgame. I don't know. It's just, I don't think they only had. Looks like there's only 21 movies, so they had to do or 22
couple
movies,
buys.
an uneven amount or something. Yeah, so they had to do that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have to fill those out. Check those out and fill those out soon. Yeah, I'd be down to do one, but I haven't even filled them out. I don't know. I don't know if we have enough time to do one.
We're at like 40 minutes, man. So I don't know. We can either wrap it up or fill it out live, or I don't know what else. What other topics there is to talk about in this world, this mad world.
I don't know. I don't really know of anything else to talk about. I don't know. Can't think of any pressing issues.
Next week, man, it'll be our WrestleMania preview show. Everything goes according to plan.
So wait, is WrestleMania slated to air next Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yeah, next Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, April 4th and 5th. Yeah.
Okay.
By Gronk.
Well. Oh yeah, Gronk is in the WWE now. What do you think about that?
It's weird, man, because he's huge on the football field, but when he stands next to wrestlers, he's not that big.
He just looks small.
Yeah, he does. Kind of weird, man. I mean, he's next to like Baron Corbin and Elias and like Mojo, and he's kind of like he's tall. He's still tall as hell, but he's just not like as built. Maybe he like lost some weight since his playing days, but yeah, man. Like on the football field, he was just like a freak, dude. Just like a big kid running around with like grown men, make him look like boys. And now goes to WWE, and he looks just like a goofy teenager who hasn't filled out yet. It's kind of funny.
Gronk. Oh, we'll see. And he's hosting this empty arena WrestleMania, by the way. I wonder how that's going to go.
I don't know why you even need a host for an empty arena. Freaking WrestleMania.
You don't. I don't know. I don't know, because I would say hopefully Vince has some tricks up his sleeve, but I just don't feel like there are any tricks to be had in situations like this. I think this is just capital.
How do you outfox a pandemic? I don't know if Vince even has that up.
there's no way that, you know. Oh man, great show. Good chops about the corona. I don't know if you have any final thoughts.
Final thoughts, man. Just stay safe, man, and you know, try to just do social distancing, quarantine if you can. If you have to go out or if you have to go to work, you know, just be safe about it. Yeah, just wash your hands and social distancing, and we'll try to be around for another week. We should be around for another week, and we'll be back next week with WrestleMania picks. Anthony will be back on the podcast reporting live from Oregon, and yeah, Baron, any thoughts? Any final words for the general public?
Just be safe out there. You know, obviously listen to what they're telling us to do. This is, you know, something that should not be taken lightly. You know, wash your hands. That's a big thing. Yeah. And then looking forward to another, hopefully awesome show that we will make awesome, turning, poop to sugar, you know? So, given what we'll be probably talking about. Yeah, man, just stay safe out there and, you know, all that good stuff.
Ghost elbow drop your friends, people. Don't come into much close contact.
Exactly. I would prefer to be in Arizona. That's my new slogan.
That's a new slogan. That's a new catchphrase. I like it.